It's not every day that a 10-year-old sports record is broken, but that's exactly what occurred on Tuesday night at Madison Square Garden in New York. With the 2,974th three-pointer of his career, Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors surpassed Ray Allen's NBA record for most three-pointers. Stick around till the end. First, let's talk about Steve Kerr's record break. After tying the all-time record in the first minutes, the Warriors' star guard eclipsed it with his second three-pointer on Tuesday. Steve Kerr scanned the box score and alerted the audience to the figure that popped out of the page, illustrating Stephen Curry's contribution to the game. Following Curry's historic achievement of becoming the NBA's all-time leader in career three-pointers, Kerr calculated the total attempts from far distance for both teams during Tuesday's 105-96 victory against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. According to him, 82 three-pointers were attempted, therefore the aggregate of both teams' three-point attempts was a testimonial to Steph's effect on the league on a night when he shattered the record. Obviously, it's a different game now. Steph is the player who changed the game. Curry hit a pair of first-quarter triples to pass Ray Allen for first place on the NBA's all-time made three-pointers record, and he ended with 5 threes and a team-high 22 points. The Warriors guard shattered the mark in 789 games, 511 fewer than Allen, 1,300 needed to do so. Curry has stated that once he breaks the record, it'll all come down to how far he could push it. Curry now just has to make 23 more three-pointers to reach 3,000 for his career, a feat that no other player in NBA history has accomplished. Next, in just 7 minutes, Curry wasted no time in hitting his first shot of the game from long range, nailing a 29-footer to give the Warriors a 5-2 lead only 1 minute into the contest. Curry's record-breaking basket came at 7 minutes 32 seconds on a play that he didn't expect to have the ball on. Golden State frequently plays the play, according to Curry, but Andrew Wiggins never passes out on a play. As Curry remembers it, Curry later recounted that he made the first one in transition, then had the ball going down for the following 2 or 3 possessions, and he could see everyone on that end of the stadium slowly get up, and there was a buzz. So he didn't want to rush it because he believed that's when you get caught up in your thoughts and attempt to push the moment. Wiggins glided past to the three-point line after coming off the screen. Curry admitted that he didn't believe he'd received the ball, but that he did, and that he then thought about nothing and let it go. The emotions began to tick in after that, so he simply wanted to let it happen. It was a really meaningful occasion for him. Next, the celebration. Officials called for a lengthy pause after Kevin Looney took a foul to force a stoppage in play, so the sold-out Madison Square Garden crowd could properly honor Curry's historic achievement. Curry hugged multiple people as he strolled around the court and then sat on the bench before speaking with Green for a lengthy time. During their extended embrace beside the bench, Green claimed he felt a lot of appreciation and joy for him. If you can't get the ball to Steph Curry for a three-point shot, he says, you should be ashamed. You probably shouldn't be on the floor as a screener if you can't get Steph Curry open by screening for him. He apparently makes Green's work a lot simpler, and sharing that moment with him now that he's in year 10 was a proud moment for him. Steph has been his teammate in every game he's played. It meant a lot to Green to be able to experience that moment with someone as close to him as Steph. Made him feel privileged to be a part of that moment when he saw him experience it. Witnesses to the glory. Curry also hugged previous record holder Allen, while childhood hero Reggie Miller, who was on the call for TNT, videotaped the historic occurrence on his smartphone from only a few feet away. Celebrities that attended the MSG event included Alicia Keys, former NFL player and TV host Michael Strahan, comedian Pete Davidson, and Steph Curry's parents, Del and Sonia Curry. Del, Steph's father, would eventually get a hold of the world record-breaking ball. Travel complications. The Warriors' inability to arrive at Madison Square Garden due to travel complications further added to the tension. Kerr and a few players took care of post-game interviews after Golden State beat the Indiana Pacers on Monday to avoid losing consecutive games for the first time this season. The Warriors, on the other hand, immediately learned that their hired jet was having technical problems. The Warriors were forced to wait for an hour at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, according to Kerr, while they waited on word for whether they'd be able to fly out of Indianapolis at all. The answer to that was negative, and as a result, the Warriors reloaded their buses and headed back to the Conrad for a second night in town. They didn't leave Indianapolis until 10:35 a.m. on Tuesday to play in Madison Square Garden at 7:30 p.m. Kerr believed that the team's travel issues would have no bearing on their performance. Pressure in the start. Curry has made only 8 of 29 three-point attempts in the first 2 games of Golden State's current 5-game road trip. Kerr attributed it to a mix of opponents selling out to stop Curry, who he felt was pushing a little too hard. That's all done now, and in his post-game locker room address, where Klay Thompson's jersey was placed exactly next to the point guards for the occasion, Curry expressed his genuine appreciation to Kerr, Green, Wiggins, and the rest of the team. Kerr described the speech as classic Steph, adding that he told the squad how much his teammates, the game, and the grind of a season meant to him, beating Allen and Miller. Curry's 11 three-pointers against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden on February 27, 2013 are the most by an opponent player in that venue in NBA history. Allen hit 8 three-pointers at the Garden in 2002. Both Allen, 8, and Miller, 6, are among the top three-point shooters by a visitor in a playoff game at Madison Square Garden this season. Curry showed a great deal of respect for both Allen and Miller, who paved the way for the point guard to reach new heights in the game. Curry's tale, according to Kerr, may transcend sports, since the point guard changed the way the game is played, as well as the way new players think about the game. It's definitely a story that rings true to a lot of people who aren't huge basketball fans, Kerr said. Steph appeals to everyone, not just hardcore fans who are looking at his three-point percentage. I think fans are attracted to him just because of his humility, his story, and how hard he's had to work. So from that standpoint, it transcends sports somewhat. In other NBA news, Ben Simmons. As Ben Simmons' stalemate with the Philadelphia 76ers drags on, the NBA's February 10 trade deadline approaches. While a rise of COVID-19 cases is presently dominating the NBA scene, making it difficult for clubs to engage in trade negotiations, the Sixers are anticipated to resume talks with competitors for the Australian star in the near future. The Sixers don't have any real traction on a trade yet, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, but are set to re-engage with suitors such as the Indiana Pacers, Sacramento Kings, and Minnesota Timberwolves before selecting the Cleveland Cavaliers as the club to watch. Shams Charania of The Athletic reported that the Cavs are interested in Simmons. James Harden, in between slicing up the Lakers and Clippers and notching some milestone statistics that made him part of an elite NBA club, James Harden transformed Brooklyn's California Christmas trip into an LA takeover, paying a visit to his high school alma mater. Harden became the 10th player in NBA history to reach 20,000 points, 5,000 rebounds, and 6,000 assists with his 15 assists against the Clippers on Monday night. Kobe Bryant, Clyde Drexler, John Havlicek, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Gary Payton, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, and Russell Westbrook are among the players on this list. With 22,662 points and 6,005 assists, Harden is presently ranked 32nd in NBA history. By the conclusion of the season, he might be in the top 30 in both categories. Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is one of the few and most well-known NBA players who has refused to undergo the COVID-19 vaccination injection. Until recently, that wasn't an issue in Washington, D.C., where there were no vaccination regulations, and Beal was subjected to harsher NBA procedures. For a long time, that will not be the case. Washington, D.C. has implemented a citywide vaccine requirement for indoor entertainment facilities, including Capital One Arena, where the Wizards play, in the wake of the recent COVID-19 outbreak. On January 15, 2022, the rule will take effect, requiring all clients aged 12 and above who attend these institutions to have had at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccination. If Beal had opted to stay unvaccinated, he, like Kyrie Irving in New York, would not have been allowed to play or even enter the building for home games. According to Ava Wallace of the Washington Post, Beal has apparently changed his mind and had his first shot of the vaccination, which is obviously good news for the Wizards. That's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching.